Earlier this year, Qantas finally confirmed that they had selected the A350 for their Project Sunrise flights. Why did they make such a decision, especially over the Boeing 777X? Tune in as I take a deep dive look at Qantas' decision to order the A350 series. Welcome back to Globetrotting. Qantas' Project Sunrise is the ambition to fly non-stop from Sydney to New York, Sydney to London, and a host of other ultra-long-haul routes from Australia. Qantas hopes to launch flights in the coming years, and it has selected the A350-1000s for the job, a job that'll see them take on 18 to 20-hour flights without stopping once, from around about late 2025. The date timeframe is according to the latest estimates from Qantas executives and following their updated timetable after we've emerged from the pandemic, with of course the virus heavily hindering plans. Qantas will see a massive overhaul with the arrival of this aircraft, in terms of seats, suites and so much more. What led though to the Australian flag carrier going to Airbus over Boeing? Firstly, let's explore the timeframe and availability. The Airbus A350 series is flying from the Dash 900 to the Dash 1000, even including the Dash 900 ULR ultra-long range, notably with Singapore Airlines, flying on the world's longest flights. While the A350 has quite a backlog of orders that the European aircraft manufacturer is still working through, generally speaking, the ability to acquire an A350 is far easier than it would be to get the 777X if you were on a time constraint. Delivery times are slated for 2025 for the A350-1000s to Qantas. Interestingly enough, that's also the target year for the entry into service of the 777-9. However, Qantas would need the capabilities of the Dash 8, which at this point does not, to my knowledge, have an expected entry into service date, or at the very least, it is constantly fluctuating in time frame, given the difficulties Boeing have experienced just with their Dash 9, a 5-year delay on its entry into service. They need to put everything behind this variant to ensure that it is certified before they can go through the lengthy process of, say, the other variant. This would push back Project Sunrise's launch plans considerably if they were to wait for the 777-8. And with other airlines jumping the gun and launching ultra-long-haul flights, like most recently Air New Zealand with their services to New York, Qantas could not afford to wait that long, and also on a time frame that does not necessarily have a firm estimate on when they'll get the plane. Of course, they've been parading Project Sunrise for years now, and the reality is they want to get these planes in the sky as soon as they can, and as soon as is also feasible. The Airbus A350 offers Qantas a great deal of customization as well, as cited directly by Alan Joyce, who has been a long admirer of the A350, even from when it visited in recent years Sydney, and executives, pilots and engineers at the Australian carrier were able to get an up-close view of the type that at that time had still the potential of being selected for their Project Sunrise plans. The A350s with Qantas will be, and I quote, specifically designed for maximum comfort in all classes. Airbus suppliers and the airline in question will all work closely moving forward to curate the perfect cabin. As shown on screen, we've already had our first glimpse, but of course there's a massive difference between seeing a rendering and fine-tuning the actual product to make sure every detail will be perfectly placed, to have even people in economy for the 18 to 20 hours remain as comfortable as possible, especially with Qantas looking to charge 20 to 30%, potentially even higher, over say a flight that includes a stop. They need to make it worth your while. And naturally, when flying economy, usually we have a budget when booking tickets. Qantas's initial commitment is for 12 of the A350s, however there is room for this to increase. Another reason why Qantas opted for the A350 is the price and deals. If you didn't know, almost every time an airline purchases an aircraft from an aircraft manufacturer, there is a sizable discount, sometimes close to 50%, on the list price value. Therefore, the discounts being offered can naturally lead the customer in question to head one way or the other. When the order was announced, Alan Joyce said that the deal put on the table, from price to the overall combination of customer experience, efficiency and operating costs, was simply too hard to turn down. So what I think you can say is Airbus definitely seized the opportunity following delays to the 777X program and offered up a deal Qantas simply couldn't refuse. Obviously understanding not just the potential that Project Sunrise has in terms of the impact it can have on passengers, but also the broader industry impact and the natural trends that will seemingly follow, and those that we are already seeing, with many more airlines interested in the prospect of launching either long-haul or ultra-long-haul flights from their country's hub. The A350, though, offers Qantas a mammoth amount of potential. While they do still fly the A380, this super jumbo will eventually need to be replaced, sadly of course for those lovers of the world's largest passenger plane. The goal would be to eventually have some of the A350s, alongside their Project Sunrise flights, flying their most essential services as well, say Sydney to Los Angeles, Melbourne to Hong Kong, and such. Moving forward, the aircraft can therefore, as best described by Joyce, be rotating when necessary. One day, they could see the plane flying from Sydney to New York, and then a couple days later, it's back onto the Sydney to Los Angeles service. It's therefore going to take the burden of having to use such a big aircraft normally on these flights, that being the A380, alongside the pressure off their Australian hubs. No doubt, Project Sunrise is a game changer, and something we'll be looking to explore right here on Globetrotting in the future, especially as we get closer and closer to that launch. However, Qantas has carefully assessed and selected the Airbus A350 to complete the mission over the Boeing 777X series for many reasons. They do genuinely believe that the 350 will be the type to lead them into the final frontier of travel. What are your thoughts? Did Qantas make the right decision to opt for the A350? Let us know below in the comment. And to thank you very much for tuning into another video here on Globetrotting. If you are new and haven't already subscribed, please do feel free to do so, as it would greatly support the channel and what we're trying to build here. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.